Welcome to the program. This is Talking Politics live from Washington. Joining me now is Stacey Siegel and Brandon Holtz. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
The Georgia Governor Nathan Deal vetoed a bill against religious and gay rights. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's probably the most consequential of anything he's done since he's been in office. The bill is called the 757, the Religious Liberty Bill. All it does is Bill shielding critics of gay marriage were wanting to remove the right to gay marriage, which was approved by the Supreme Court, and a lot of people think it was a ridiculous ruling in the first place. So it was rejected. It was just a bill presented, and obviously it didn't become law. It was vetoed by Nathan Deal today. And his contention was that, he quoted, "It doesn't reflect Georgia's image of a state full of warm, friendly, and loving people." And he warned the critics that he's not going to tolerate any payback or threats. And he's promised. There were dozens of companies that promised to pull their business from the state, including Apple and Disney, owning Marvel, and some of these other large companies like Intel and Salesforce. And there was no way that Nathan Deal and the citizens of Georgia, which has a huge population of gay people, the third biggest population in the country, in fact, was going to allow that to happen. It's just absolutely a new from the very beginning.
To correct your statement there, Apple was not threatening to leave Georgia. They were not going to close Apple stores. It was a huge win, however, for the film industry in Georgia. They were threatening to leave. Particularly Pinewood Studios, they were threatening to move some of their filming locations, particularly to Louisiana, which was definitely a scary thought. The NFL was thinking about taking away Atlanta's presumptive Super Bowl in 2019. There's going to be all sorts of backlash from those areas because of all the groups that said, look, we're not going to tolerate discrimination. I mean, you don't need us. I mean, we don't need you, you need us. And if we do not like the environment in this state, we're going to leave. And it is a huge part to stand up against the more religious area of the House and Senate in Georgia. So it was definitely a huge, huge win for equality. And so.
Well, there was just a tremendous, on the other side, there was a tremendous, pushing of like 1.3 million people, and Senator McCune, which, obviously was opposing the bill. He has said, in Georgia Baptist Mission Board and Faith and Freedom Coalition, some of these aren't huge religious conservative groups, had, threatened again that they were going to, have the businesses, reject the bill, including, according to the Washington Post, Intel and Apple, and that was like doing business with these groups, not necessarily pulling their stores, but refusing to continue doing business in the states until, if this was passed, that they would do less business.
So they made
with the
a statement saying that they condemned it. They never specifically said they were going to pull out of Georgia, but there were many companies, as you were stating earlier, in the film industry that were actually threatening to do this, as well as potential repercussions from the NFL.
Well, again, Georgia and Atlanta have the third greatest population of gay people. In fact, Alex Wan, who's a councilman in Atlanta, had tried to express gay marriage support and had mentioned that 15 same-sex couples per 1,000 people live in Atlanta. So, it had no chance from the beginning of inception.
All right, and we're going to continue this talk when we come back after this.